Hello everyone, and welcome to Q's Tech Help. This is SQX, and today we're going to be showing off how to use Mac, um, specifically the desktop interface. So this toolbar up here, as well as the dock that's down here. So I'm going to explain the very basics for anyone who is new to Mac, basically. Now, when you first set up your Mac, whether it be MacBook, iMac, whatever Mac you decide to purchase, you have to go through several settings. You might it will ask you if you want to sign in iCloud, but if you don't want to, you don't have to sign in into iCloud. But it is preferred so you can have everything synced from your iPhone to your Mac or whatever. And then once you get through all that process, you will get this right here, which says "Welcome to Mac," and then you click Continue, and you get to the desktop, which is right here. So you see two things here. You see this menu bar up here, and you see this right here, which is called the dock. So first I'm going to explain the dock, because it's pretty simple. So here, as you can see, you have all these icons here. These are all of your apps. These are all the apps that are put on the dock by default. So as you can see, you got your Finder, you got Launchpad, all of these. These are all your apps, and you can take them off by just doing that, or you can add it back by just dragging it and dropping it back. Now, first thing we're going to learn about dock. Like I just showed you, you can remove, put it back. Now you might see, and you can do this with all of this down here. Now you might see these two down here. These two are your most recent apps that you have had open. So for example, this is my OBS. This is what I'm using to record this. And so you can see that it's open and it's running. And you also see this over here, which is the window of OBS. And of course, if you don't want that, you can go into settings and turn that off. But it's on by default. And I prefer it that way. It just makes it easier to see what you're doing. Now you also see there's this little dot under this icon. This little dot is telling you that this app is currently running and is currently open. And then over here you got, usually you only have these two items, which is your downloads and your trash. But because I'm running OBS, you have this little window right here that you can see. Now, this is your folder from Finder, which if you don't know what Finder is, it is your files app. It's basically like Windows Explorer if you use Windows, which most people use Windows. So that's where all your files and documents and everything will go to, or your downloads. And by default, your downloads are download folder is put in the dock to the right over here. So every time you download something, it will come down into here. And you can just click it, and as you see, it makes it a little arrow pointing down. And usually you have a little bit of a list here to show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to actually download something from the internet. So let's open Safari real quick. And let's just download something random. Let's see. What if I want to download Chrome, for example? Well, I already have Chrome, but we can just go ahead and download Chrome. Because Chrome is the best in my opinion. And I've tried so many different browsers. Wait for it to start downloading. If it decides to. For some reason it's not. Let's click this. Okay. Now when you download something, first thing it's going to pop up is, do you want to allow downloads from this website? So macOS is very, very careful and very secure when it comes to downloading things online. And anytime you try to download something from a website, it will ask you this, and you can go ahead and click allow. And as you can see, once you start downloading something, the file will jump from the browser into the downloading folder. And now you got a little icon of the file that you're downloading with a progress bar down here. I don't know why it's taking so long to download. As you can see, it's downloading. And once you click on the download folder here, it will show everything that you have downloaded. So as you can see, right here is my Google Chrome download. And then right here it says open in Finder with a little arrow here. What this arrow means is once you click it, it's going to take you to another pop-up. So as you see, once we click it, we go into Finder here, and we get our downloads folder here. And as you see, that is our download. And that's basically it for the download section over here. Oh, as you can see, it just finished. And once the download finishes, it will do a little animation, jumping animation, to indicate that it's finished downloading, which is pretty cool. Then as I said, there's my window for OBS. Then right here you get your trash icon. This is where all your files that you delete are at. So as you can see, these are my previous recordings that I kept messing up because I can't talk right sometimes. This is any file that you delete, it goes into the trash, just like Windows. It goes to the recycle bin or trash. It's basically all the same thing. And then once you're in your trash, you can click this right here, and it'll ask you, do you want to permanently erase these items? And it will tell you you cannot undo this action. So once you empty the trash, those files are gone forever, basically. So you can empty the trash that way, or if you just right click with your mouse, you got a selection of open or empty trash. If we click open, it just opens the trash like we did earlier. Or we can click empty trash, you get the same pop-up, and you can go ahead and empty your trash. And as you can see, the icon no longer has trash in it. So now it's empty. So now if I open this, you can see I have no files in here now. And that's it for the trash over here. I'm going to explain more of these icons down here in the future video, probably the next video. But for now, that's going to be it for the dock. Now, let's go ahead and look up here. I don't actually know what they call this. I call it the Finder bar. But as you can see, you have Apple logo with some text here, as well as some icons over this way. First, let's get to the Apple logo. This Apple logo is where it's basically like the Windows shut off screen, I guess you can call it. And you have a list of different options here. So the first option here is called About This Mac. And it does exactly what it tells you. It tells you what Mac you're using. That tells you the name of the product you're using. The processor, which is M1. And then the year it was manufactured, which was 2020, if I can highlight it. Then down here, you got your chip, which is, like I said earlier, is Apple M1. If you have an Intel Mac, it will say the Intel processor name there. Then right here, you got your memory. This tells you how much gigabytes of memory you have, which mine's the base. This is the base model MacBook Air. So this one only has 8 gigabytes. And then you have, here's the startup disk. This is the disk that actually has everything for the Mac OS to operate, including all your private documents and files and anything that you download. Then you got the serial number, which is, I think, unique to every single device. It just tells you serial number. Then here you have a Mac OS version. Oh, which apparently you can click on it. No, you can do that. Huh. Which, as you can see, I'm running macOS version 15.2 or 24C101. And then it says right here, regulatory certification, trademark, and copyright 1983 to 1924 Apple Inc. All rights reserved. So that's just their trademark, basically telling you that this is all owned by Apple. Now we have this little button here called More Info. If we click that, it sends us to our system settings and tells more information about our Mac. So as you can see here, I also forgot to mention it actually shows an image of your Mac here as well, even down to the actual color of the Mac that I have, which is pretty cool. This is rose gold. If you have a silver one, it will look silver. So now it shows the name of the computer. So if you're like using Bluetooth or AirDrop, it will show that this computer is named Tina's MacBook Air, which is my mother. This is actually my mother's. And then again, we have serial number. And coverage is if you have Apple Care. And then down here, you have your macOS version again, macOS Sequoia version 15.2. And if you scroll down more, we have our display. This is my monitor. It's a 23.5-inch monitor that's 1920 by 1080p. And then, of course, you got display settings, which we'll look into in the future. And you can basically change some display settings if you want. And then if here, you got your disk again, which shows you the name of the disk, as well as how much gigabytes, how much storage left you have. So as you can see, this Mac has a total of 245.11 gigabytes. And then I only have about 58 gigabytes left. And then of course you could go to storage settings and see where all your storage is being sent to. Then you have a button here that says System Report. Now if you click here, this opens up another app, which is basically called System Information, which gives you even more information about your Mac. As you can see, we got the hardware. It goes down to ATA, which we don't have ATA, Apple Pay, the Bluetooth, the camera that's built into the Mac, Ethernet, everything that you would ever want to know. But yeah, this is just an app. So if you want to learn any specific hardware or whatever that's on your Mac, you can just easily look at it. So as you can see, you got the model name, model number, the chip, the number of cores the chip has, the amount of RAM it has, all different useful information. All right, so that is about this Mac. Simply just tells you information about your Mac. Now let's go to system settings, which we already saw earlier, which is what this icon down here is. This is basically your settings app, obviously, where you can change all the different settings of your Mac. As you can see, you can sign into your Apple account here. You got your Wi-Fi, your Bluetooth, your network. So if you can activate a firewall, Thunderbolt bridge. Also, you can also add a VPN down here. And then you got your battery. General. We'll look into the settings app a little bit more. But yeah, it's just everything that you can, all the settings you can change on your Mac. Next, we got the App Store. Everybody knows what an App Store is. It's a store that has apps. And basically, it's the same, this icon on here, same as on iPhone. Click on that now. This is where you go and you download whatever app you want. All of these are native to Mac. Why it's an app store. Go ahead, close that. Now, we can go and see recent items. And this is all the items. It's basically all your recent stuff that you've opened up. As you can see, my screenshot we had earlier over here. Regulatory verification that we opened up earlier. All the recent apps. If you want, go clear that menu. So now we have nothing there. That's useful to just go to recent apps, but that's pretty much the same thing as down here. The only difference is this includes documents and servers as well. And then right here, we have force quit, which also has a command, which is option, or for me, it's control command. and then the escape key. And also, if we click it, it opens up this window here. Force quit applications. So if you want, you can force quit any of these running apps that are already running. For example, Safari is running. Now, the difference between Windows and Mac is when you actually close a window, it doesn't actually close the app. The app is still running in the background because macOS is very smart when it comes to handling RAM. And so, what's cool about it is if you're downloading something, you can just close the window without worrying the download progress of the download stop working. But it will quit if you click force quit, and then it will ask you, do you want to do that? Are you sure? And you can click force quit, and as you can see, the dot gets removed from under Safari, meaning that the app is no longer running. Same thing with preview here. You can quit that, and no longer having that running. Obviously, I'm not going to click OBS because we want that to run. Finder, you cannot ever close. It is constantly running because Finder is what operates the desktop, basically. It's where everything is located, basically. All right. Next, we have sleep, which obviously puts your computer to sleep. Restart, which reboots the whole computer. Shut down, which shuts down the computer. Lock screen, which obviously locks the screen. And then there's a log out guide. Now, the guide here is just the name of the profile that I have on the Mac, because you can make different profiles. So there's one for my personal Apple account, one for my mom's, and then I made another one guide just to show you the basic stuff. Yeah, that's how you log out. Of course, you can see more commands here, which I'll go over that later. Now, when you're on the desktop, by default, you have these text here, and you have this one that's a little bit bold, and this is whatever window that you are currently on, that your mouse is on. It will show what app you're on right here. So by default, when you're on the desktop, it's Finder, because Finder is what runs everything. And when you're using an app, it will say the first menu that you have here is about the app, so you can click about Finder. It tells you the Macintosh desktop experience. It shows you the version of the app that you're using and some trademark stuff. And then you got settings. So this just opens up the Finder settings, which we'll go over that as well later. And the same thing with any other app. This is where the settings for each individual app is located. Then you got services, which obviously there's no services right now. And then hide Finder. This is so if you have a Finder open, you can hide it. You can kind of hide others as well. As you can see, it actually hid OBS down here. So basically, if we go on the desktop, hide others, we can hide the application that way. But for more Finder stuff, you got File, which is where you can make a new Finder window. So if you click that, it just opens up a new window. As you can see, you can open multiple windows of Finder. Then you got new folder, which will automatically put a new folder on your desktop, and you can rename it to whatever you want. But we don't want that. We don't need a folder. You can also do a smart folder if you want. You can do a new tab, which basically we go open up a window here, and then click new tab again. Now you have tabs on your Finder. This just makes it easier. So if I go to like downloads, this just makes it easier to move stuff around between different files and stuff. And then you have get info. We click that. It gives you information about whatever item you're currently on. So in this case, we're on the desktop. It tells you how much of the storage is being used for example, this is the image. and it's saying that it's 861 kilobytes. And it also tells you when the latest modified, tells you what kind of uh, app or item this is, which the desktop is technically a folder. If you go to Finder, you got different folders here. And if we click this at the top, it actually shows us the MacBook Air, and then you got your disk, and then your network. And if you go to the disk, it has all your other stuff. And desktop is a file that's put in there, or folder, I should say. And then as you can see here, it shows even more depth of all the storage that's being taken up from desktop. And this tells you where it's located. So it's on the disk, and it goes to users. And then the user, like I said before, this profile is named guide. So the folder is located in our user folder. And then here is created. This was the last time. This is when the file was originally created. This is when it was latest modified. And if you want, you can have the folder shared. So you can share it with other Macs and stuff. You can lock it if you want. Then you can click more info. Has last opened, which was just now. And then you also have a preview of the app or item right here. And you got some permissions down here as well. As you can see, I'm the only one that can read and write this desktop because it's in this profile, not anyone else's profile. But if you want, we can give access to everyone if you want. All right, so that's it for file. Now we got edit. Here is where you can, actually I forgot to mention, as you can see, there's some things down here that are closed. That's because we have no window open. But now if we go into Finder here, you can open something. You can also close the window. You can rename different files, you can compress files, you can duplicate files. That's what all this does, is it changes aspects of the files. Also, you can see we can move it to trash from here if you want. And you can also eject stuff like a flash drive. If you have a flash drive in your Mac, you can eject it from here as well. And then you got tags, which is a pretty neat thing with Finder. Also, you can click Find, and this opens up a search bar within Finder, so you can just search up a file if you want to. And that's it for file. Now edit. You can undo things. So this just basically means you can edit the desktop, or you can edit whatever window that you're in. And you can edit, undo stuff. You can redo stuff. Let's say I didn't want to move that back. I can redo it. You can also cut stuff and copy, and you can paste stuff if you want from here. You also click select all, which selects everything that is on the desktop here, or whatever window that you have open. Show clipboard. This just shows anything that you have copied or cut. This would be the clipboard. Then you have autofill. So if you have passwords or contacts and stuff, you can just automatically fill it using this. Start dictation is where you speak and your speech will turn into text. And then you got emojis, which will open a window here of all your emojis that you can use. So that's it for edit. Now let's go to view. View, you can view different things as, or files as different things. You can view them as icons, as lists, columns, or gallery, which I will show you more in depth when we go through Finder. You can also use stacks, which basically helps, it's a newer feature, like, well, I shouldn't say newer feature, but it basically helps sort out images by, or different files by their types, which I can't really show on here because I don't really have much stuff on here. That's pretty cool. You can click this by that. Okay. Then you can also sort the stuff. You can also snap it to the grid. So if I click that, Now when I use an icon, it will snap, so I can't just move it anywhere I want. It will snap it to a grid. And then if I want to undo that, I can click none. Now I can move it anywhere I want, or I like. And then if you click sort by, it will sort by name. So if you have multiple files, it will go from A, B, C, D, E, F, G, so on. You can do it by the kind, which is basically the type of item it is, whether it be images, files, music, whatever. The last open, you basically get the gist. You can just sort it by different things. Clean up just helps organize everything. Hide tab bar. If you open this, you can click here, show tab bar. So now it shows all the different tabs we have open, even if we don't have another tab. We'll go ahead and hide that as well. Then we click show all tabs, which have zooms out each tab that you have open. You can add another one. Then you can click view and show all tabs again, and see we got multiple tabs. So that just shows all the tabs we want. And you got hide sidebar, which hides the side over here, which I don't recommend because it's very useful to get to your different things. Show preview. Basically, that means if I click on a file, it'll give you a little preview of everything, and it has some information as well as down here. You can also hide the toolbar, which basically does the same thing. It hides the top and the side. I don't recommend doing that. That's what this is up here. This is the toolbar, which you can customize. And you can add different things or remove things, however you like it. Customize it the way you like it. Okay. Show path bar. So basically, once you have a click on an item, it shows the path of the item for where it's located. So you can see it's at the user folder, and it goes to the desktop folder, which is this file right here. Okay. Then you can click show status bar. This just shows the amount of items. Let's see, I don't really have much on here. So if we highlight these, it shows 2 items, and it shows us how much storage we have available. And then we got a slider down here. This just enlarges or shrinks the icon, whatever size you like. And then you can go ahead and hide that. Here you can also click customize toolbar as well. Same menu that we showed you earlier. Okay. Then you got enter full screen, which just puts the app in full screen. Alright, now we can close that. Then you got go here. This is so you can easily go to anywhere you would want. So if you want to go to AirDrop, here's AirDrop. If you want to go to documents, here's our documents. Very useful. You got your recent folders. You can go to a certain folder that you want to search up. I can also connect to a server, whatever. Then you got a window. This basically lets you minimize it, zoom in, fill it, center it, change it, different corners and whatever. Also go cycle through windows. If you have multiple windows, you can just cycle through them. Bring all to front. That brings all the windows to the very front, so you can see all your stuff easily. And then you got previous tab, next tab, stuff like that. And then we got help. This is basically if you have any questions or you need any help, you can just search up whatever you need. You can even click the Mac user guide, and this helps you explain everything I've been telling you basically. And that's it for all these texts. However, like I said earlier, they do change depending on the app. So if we open Safari, as you can see, now it says Safari instead of Finder. And you got your file again, which you can make. You can open a file. I don't really know what the purpose of that is really. when you're in Safari already, but it's useful. Then you got edit. Basically lets you edit anything that is in Safari. You can also find things by Google search. Show writing tools, which is kind of like the new Apple Intelligence. So as you can see, each app that you open, these texts up here will change. So if you open up messages, which we don't have it, we're not signed in. You can see we have new text here. You still got your edit and view here, so you can view your messages. You can edit the different things here as well. Got conversation, format. So if you want text to look different, window, and then your help again. So yeah, that happens with every single app. They all have different menus and stuff that you can go through. That's it for this left area over here. Now let's go to this right over here. What is this over here? Well, you got your, right now this purple here just shows that I am sharing my screen, my monitor screen. As you can see, it shows what app it is using on the screen. It also shows the display of the screen, preview I should say. You can click stop sharing. Obviously I don't want that because that's how I'm recording this. And I got your mic mode because I'm using my mic through OBS, which is highlighted in orange, which you usually have on Mac. You have standard or voice isolation. I prefer standard because it just sounds better. And then here you got an app that's open. Not every app has this icon here. Next you got this, which is your battery icon. It tells you what percentage you're at, which as you can see it's on hold at 80%. Because I have battery optimization on, so it's not going to let it go to 100. Same thing like on iPhone. Now you might see this little plug on this battery. That means I have my MacBook connected to an outlet through a charger. You got power source, which obviously is a power adapter. Charging on hold, which means it's holding the battery to be at 80%. You click charge to full now, so if you want it to be all the way to 100, we can do that. This right here shows if you're like playing a video game or something graphically intensive for the computer, it will tell you how much that it's using a bunch of energy and it's using a lot of your battery. And then you can see you got battery settings down here, which we saw earlier. If we click that, it just takes you to system settings and you got your battery settings. All right, next icon that we have is Wi-Fi. Click here, it shows your Wi-Fi, which Wi-Fi you're connected to, all your known networks that you have, which this is my main Wi-Fi, which is 2.5 gigahertz, and then you got your 5 gigahertz. And then you gotta go other networks, and it shows all the other networks that are in your area. Then you can also go to Wi-Fi settings. Again, you can connect to your Wi-Fi. Pretty simple. Next, you have this little magnifying glass, which is called Spotlight Search, which it tells you right here what it does. It now shows personalized suggestions from the web, iTunes, App Store, movies, showtimes, locations nearby, and a lot of different stuff. This is basically like a whole search window. So if you want to search for a file, like the screenshot that you took, we can do that. So if you type in screenshot, it shows us everything that we would want to need. There's an app called Screenshot, which is what I use to take this picture. It shows photos from apps. So if we click on this, it shows the document. Here again. Here under suggestions, these are web searches. So if I click screenshot on Mac, it'll fill in the text and it will give you websites that you can go to based on this search. Then you got different system settings here. So if you search up screenshot, you got a setting called keyboard shortcuts, which basically this will take you to shortcuts that you can use on your keyboard. And like I said, you got websites. Then you got developer stuff. This basically just a bunch of files that aren't used to become a developer, basically, that developers use. And you got tips. This is an icon for another app called Tips, which gives you tips about different things that you can use. Like take a screenshot how to use your keyboard. Shift Command 5. It takes an entire screenshot of your screen. Different stuff for Apple Pencil, iPad, iPhone. This sends you to Apple's website um, on how to take screenshots and screen recordings. You scroll down more, you get more documents. Scroll down, other stuff. You got definition as well, because macOS has a dictionary actually by default. Oh. And so when you search up type in a word, it actually gives you a definition. An image of the data displayed on the screen of a computer or mobile device. And that's from New Oxford American Dictionary. Then down here at the bottom, you can click search the web. It will take this text and apply it to Safari. And you got search and finder, which will apply it to the search and finder. So if you want to find an app, or if you want to find this document, as you can see, it will go to finder. And you can either go to the desktop, which we see we have our file, or you can just search to the whole Mac. So we got the application, you got the documents, and then our image, because it's searching through your whole entire Mac. That's basically the Spotlight search. Search up whatever you want. If I want to go to Google, it will show up Google Chrome, or I'll recommend the website Google. So if I click this, it'll open Safari, and then it'll go to google.com. It'll give you other Google stuff. Apps for Google app. I don't know what that is. You got Facebook. And then also Siri knowledge. I forgot about that. Siri knowledge is basically takes the word and gives you information about the word. So clearly Google, it's a multinational internet and technology corporation. That's coming from Wikipedia. And then you got the definition here as well. You got fonts apparently. Yeah, that's Spotlight search. Pretty useful. Also, if you do Alt, or you can do Command Space. Well, this would be I don't know, because I'm not using a Mac keyboard. I'm using a PC keyboard. But there's a shortcut with I think it's Alt Space, and it'll bring up Spotlight that way as well. All right, next, this icon here is basically the same thing for your iPhone. It's your control center. So as you can see right here, it shows it has this icon right here. This is because I'm using OBS, and OBS is using my mic, which is what this orange thing is. And this purple is an indicator for the screen that's being used or being shared. And so in this control center, as you can see, you have different options here. You have your Wi-Fi, so if you click here, it opens the same menu that's over here, your Wi-Fi and stuff. You got your Bluetooth. So I got my Magic Mouse, and then I got my mouse that I'm using now, which I don't actually use Bluetooth. I use a dongle, USB. And then you got AirDrop. So if you want to enable AirDrop, you can use that. But apparently, I guess for AirDrop, you have to have an Apple account, which kind of sucks. Let's click on everyone. Let's see if actually go to AirDrop. I guess it's not gonna show my iPhone. But yeah, that's how you access those some stuff there. And then you got Focus, which is like your Do Not Disturb. Same thing on your iPhone. Stage Manager, right here it tells you. Basically takes any window that you have open, puts it to the side on the left, and you can use it easily to switch between your windows. So if I open up Safari, I click minimize, now I got it over here. Which I should actually explain these three buttons here. These buttons are basically the same thing with Windows. So you can close the window. That's what the red button does. As you can see, if you hover over it, it has an X. You got your yellow one, which minimizes it. Usually it will minimize into the dock, but because I have Studio or Stage Manager on here, it puts it to the side, like I said earlier. And then you have your maximize button. If we click it, it'll maximize it. Also, what's different on Mac is it makes a whole new page, and it keeps the desktop to the left, but it moves your app to the right and puts it in full screen view, which I actually prefer it this way because it makes it easier to transition between your desktop and your app. Which, by the way, the reason how I can do this is Control and then arrow keys. So you can just use arrow key left and right. All right. I can click this to unmaximize it. Now, what's new is if you hover it, it gives you recommendations. So if you want to move it to the left, you can move it to the left. You can move it to the right. Up, down. You can make it fill the screen without actually maximizing. You can make it to the left. Make it where this will go to the left, but then you can have two apps, one over here and one down here. Or you can make it, I forgot what they call it, where apps are all on all four corners of the screen here. All right, back to this over here. And your control center. You can go ahead and disable Stage Manager because I don't really use it. But it's useful to keep everything organized. Screen mirroring. This is if you want to mirror your display on your Mac to a TV, a monitor that has AirPlay, because that's basically what this is. It's called AirPlay. And basically, it's like AirDrop before screens and media, which I actually use it sometimes to view stuff on my TV. Then you got display here, so you can turn off and on dark mode, night shift, which basically gives the screen a warmer look, as you can see. Then you can also go to display settings. Also, if you have a monitor that's able to, you can actually adjust the brightness. But this is usually for like Apple displays. And then you got some sound here, which if you mess with this, it will adjust the sound. And then you got AirDrop here. So, let me see. Click this here. Basically lets you move the audio to something else. So right now it's going through my headset. And then you got a USB auto, which is speakers. That's my microphone. And you can also move it to a TV. So if you want sound from your Mac going to your TV for some reason, you can do that. And this is any media that you have playing. So if you're on Safari or Google and you're playing YouTube, this will show here. You can play, pause it. Right now it defaults to Apple Music, which obviously I don't have right now because I'm not signed in. And you can just control your media from here as well. Also, if you go to the system settings, you can actually put these individual things onto the bar up here as an icon, just like Wi-Fi here. If I want, I can put Bluetooth up here. I can put AirDrop over here, and to do that, you actually can drag it and move it up there if you want. Same thing with Stage Manager, screen mirroring. You just click and hold and drag it. So now you got display settings. You can easily go to Stage Manager if you want it on and off. Bluetooth, screen mirroring. Go over to settings, click on Control Center. You can actually turn them off here as well. Don't show. Don't show. So that's pretty much it for Control Center. So you can easily put any icons you want up here. Oops. Then you got this icon here, which has changed a lot over time. This is Siri, just like on your iPhone. You can click on it and you can type to Siri. So let's say, how's the weather? And as you can see, it tells us how our weather is. Basically it works like Siri on your iPhone. Yeah, because you should also be able to use your mic. But for some reason, my mic. Oh, I guess it does work. Yeah, you can even use your mic to talk to it if you have your mic. That's it for all these icons here. But what's this? This you can click on and you get your widgets. So just like if you swipe left to your widgets on your iPhone, now you got widgets here directly on your desktop. And you can also drag them and you can add them to your desktop. So now if we go to our desktop, now this widget is over there. Or you can click on this and drag it back over here. So yeah, this is all your different widgets. And customize and do whatever you want, which I'll show you more about widgets later in the future. Yeah. And as you can tell, this text here is telling me what day it is. It's Monday. The day of the month is January, or the month and the day, which is January 6th. And then what time it is. So yeah, that's the UI elements of our desktop on macOS. Hopefully I've been simple and useful and you guys can understand everything. If you have any questions whatsoever, drop a comment below. I will try to figure out your problem or whatever question you have. So then, hope you guys have a good day. This was Q's Tech Help. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video. Have a good day, everyone.